अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय श्रीगौरप्रियमूर्तये श्रीमते भक्तिवल्लभा तीर्थगोस्वामिने नमः। पतितपावन परम करुणामय परमाराध्यतम श्रील गुरुदेव नित्यलीला प्रविष्टो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् श्रील भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज जी के अभय चरण में असंख्य कोटि साष्टांग दंडवत प्रणाम करते हुए उनकी अहेतु की कृपा प्रार्थना करता हूँ। By the mercy of most revered Srila Gurudev, we have been discussing here about the glories of holy name. If we can understand the glories of the holy name, our life will be completely changed. So that's why we are discussing about this subject matter first of seriously. When we understand the glory, we naturally becomes attracted to it. We naturally get inclined to it. Our inclination towards the holy name will increase as we understand its glories. That's why we are here now. Yesterday we tried to understand how a person who is fallen, a person is unable to understand the glories of the holy name. So, Srila Haridas Thakur, he is not an ordinary personality. He is the special personality. He is the dearmost associate of the Supreme Lord, who is free from all kinds of anarthas, and also who is Namacharya. So because his inclination for the holy name is so strong, and then the holy name itself has become his life. So that's why whatever he speaks, everything is actually the message of the Lord directly descending through his lips. As we have discussed this, that a pure devotee, the Lord empowers him, and then the Lord mercifully descends this message of the Supreme Lord, this message through his beloved associates. But only foolish people, those who are so-called intellectual people, what they do, they through their word jugglery, they have their skills, speaking skills. So many people are experts in speaking skills. It is the same word, but one person speaks, it's not so interesting. But when the other person speaks, it's very interesting. Because today, the world has become in such a way that it's less interested in the content, but more into the presentation. If you have the skill to present, then the world is in such a way that it can happily purchase anything. I don't want to use such words, but the world has such kind of tendency. Even it may not have any value, It may be worthless, but still the world is so happy to get it, to buy it, if the presentation is beautiful. So anyhow, these so-called intellectuals and scholarly personalities, they are more behind the presentation and not onto the content. So their understanding of the philosophy, their understanding about the scriptures is totally different from the understanding of a realized soul. We can also understand, like a person's like Gopal Chakravarti, what kind of interest he has. He is only interested in attaining salvation, in attaining liberation. So for his understanding, all those bona fide scriptures, they only take the person to the level of liberation, nothing more. Whereas the personalities like Srila Haridas Thakur, they consider that by the dim reflection of the holy name itself, liberation can be attained. These people, these so-called spiritual leaders, or those who are anchoring for liberation, they consider bhakti to be a vulgar and an indecent activity. So that's why they consider themselves to be nirvikar. There is no vikar. So there is no emotion or there is no expression of any kind. It's like completely a kind of frozen consciousness. But in devotion, there are all kinds of emotions. So a devotee happily experiences and also expresses the emotions towards the beloved object of worship, that is the Supreme Lord, and relishes it. Because alone it's not possible to be happy. Even the Lord himself could not be so happy being alone. It's a general way to say this. He is Atmaram, he is happy, but he, at the same time, we have to understand, even though he is Atmaram, he is happy within himself, but still when he is with his beloved devotees, the happiness he experiences is much, much, much higher than the position of being Atmaram. That's why the Lord enjoys, the Lord relishes the emotions of his beloved devotees in different mellows. If not this, there is no requirement of any mellow, there is no requirement of any pastime, there is no requirement of any loving exchange with his devotees. When there are two personalities, one is the servant and one is the personality to whom we serve, that is the Supreme Lord. So when there is a loving exchange between the Lord and his beloved devotees in the mood of dasya, in the mood of sakya, in the mood of vatsalya, or in the mood of madhurya, it has a different kind of relishment, which is not experienced for those who follow the path of liberation. So these egoistic people like Gopal Chakravarti are not inclined to surrender into the lotus feet of the Lord. Like that. The people of this school include bhakti in fruitive actions. So they perform some bhakti, like these are so many people in this world. They perform some kirtan, they perform some bhajan or seva, all those things. But ultimately, it's all for getting some pious fruits. Nothing more than this. So, but Gopal Chakravarti would often think that Haridas Thakur is also the person who follows such kind of people. He could not imagine or even understand what class of devotee is Srila Haridas Thakur. But Haridas Thakur is neither a follower of fruitive actions nor one who is an advocate of dry intellectualism, means shushk gyan. It's dry knowledge, dry intelligence. He is not the supporter of this. He was the follower of the pure mellow, pure rasa. So when he is chanting the holy name, he is relishing the nectar. It's not just a dry name with no mellow. There is ras, there is the bliss in the holy name. So when Srila Haridas Thakur recites the name of the Lord, he is constantly relishing the nectar of the divine name. And what it is said, Thakur Haridas is out and out of strong advocate of bhakti or devotion to Bhagwan. He believes in God and his loving service, and the only thing he desires and does is to satisfy the Supreme Lord, nothing more. There are different kinds of, various kinds of instructions given in the bona fide scriptures. Bhakti or devotion to Bhagwan holds a position supreme to all. Like different kinds of things, like you can practice karma, gyan, yoga, tap, tyag, sankhya, and so many other kinds of practices. Among them, the perfect and the best is what it is? It is bhakti, devotion in the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So that's why bhakti is not secondary, it is always primary. The Lord himself says in Srimad Bhagavatam, na sadhet mam yogo na sankyam dharmodhava na swadhyaya tapastyagat yatha bhakti mamurjita. Only through the devotional practice you will attain the ability to attract me, but it is not possible by other means of practices like sankhya or maybe karma, gyan, tap, yoga and all other things. Definitely all other practices have their respective abilities to take the person in the path of God consciousness, but God is only attracted by the practice of devotion, bhakti. So that's why we have to understand this. Bhakti, being the highest attainment of human existence, is not given to the jivas by the Supreme Lord. It's not so easily given to the jivas by the Supreme Lord. In fact, we have to understand, Lord can give liberation, but he can't give bhakti. Who can give bhakti? Only a bhakta can give bhakti. That's why it is again said, Bhaktiyastu Bhagavad Bhakta Sangena Parijayate. Bhakti manifests. Actually, there is nothing to give first of all, because it is already in our nature. Bhakti is by default human nature. So, what happens? That is only revived, that is only awakened. So, the seed is given by which bhakti is awakened. Like you can understand that in the land there is mango, but it only comes out when the seed of the mango is sown. So whatever essential nutrients to to sprout the mango seed is existing in the earth. But when the right seed is sown in the right place by the right person in the right time, everything comes together and then it manifests. The thing which is not existing can never manifest. So bhakti is always existing in our heart. We only need to awaken it. So the seed to awaken bhakti is given by most revered Srila Gurudev and Guru Parampara. And a sincere aspirant has to implant the seed of bhakti within his heart and nourish it through the waters of Shravan and Kirtan. And slowly, slowly it starts to sprout. It starts to sprout. So anyhow, what happens is, the Lord is not going to give bhakti, He is going to give liberation. Who gives bhakti? Bhakti, bhakta. Bhakta is the one, a devotee is the one who is the possessor of the wealth called bhakti. Why bhakti is considered as wealth? Because the Lord is attracted by it. There is no other means by which we can attract the Lord. But there is only one way to attract the Lord, that is bhakti. Bhakti vasatu purusha. The Supreme Lord is bound to bhakti. He is attracted by bhakti. So that's why that bhakti is coming from the bhakta only. Not everyone can give it. Only in the association, in the company of pure devotees, the bhakti will come, it will manifest. That is the speciality of devotion, devotional service. We often used to listen this from Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, most revered Srila Shiksha Gurudev, that when Bhishma Pitama has decided to depart from this mortal world, so that time all these Pandavas and then Krishna, Kunti, they all gathered there. He was blessing everyone, instructing everyone how to live and what to do, all those things, sharing his experiences of life, and also giving them the Vedic wisdom for to have a harmonious life, to have follow a Vedic lifestyle, everything. But when it comes to Arjun, he did not give him any instruction. He was only folding his hands on the bed, laying on the bed of arrows, and he is requesting him that you please bless me. Everyone was surprised to see that how come Bhishma Pitama, he is the great grandfather of Kauravas and Pandavas, everyone. He is folding his hands and then praying to Arjun, and he says, please bless me. What blessings do you really need? He says, I need Krishna. I need Krishna. And I know you are the one, you are the only one here who can bestow me Krishna. Why? He says, Krishna Tomar Hridayer Dhan. He is the treasure of your heart. Krishna, he belongs to you. You belong to him. He is the treasure of your heart. So you are the one who is qualified to give me Krishna. So you please give me Krishna. Like that. He knows. That's why he says, a pure devotee can give us Krishna. Means he can give us bhakti. No others can give us bhakti. Bhakti is not easily given by anyone. Like, that's why no one can claim themselves to be a bhakta as a devotee, and no one can give bhakti. Only a pure devotee of the Lord can give bhakti. So that's why by reading books, how a person can understand what bhakti is, unless he has not followed the footsteps of the pure devotee, unless he has not taken up the path of devotion under the shelter of pure devotee, how it is possible to understand what is bhakti. Same word, but different people, they take it in a different way. Like that. Only one word with different expressions, the meaning also completely changes. That we can see in this world also. Like that. And how we can claim that ourselves to be a devotee if we have not received the blessings of a pure devotee? Because bhakti is a kind of contagious disease. But disease gives pain. Bhakti gives bliss. So it is not the right word, but to understand. It's spreading. So when we go close to a bhakta, and by his association, immediately our life is transformed as devotee. Like that. Corona is spreading so nicely now and giving so much of misery to the whole world. We can understand how it is. And other diseases, there are so many diseases which are so contagious, infection. Like this. But this is also spreading, but it's only giving bliss. Bhakti is spreading means the life of the person is changing. Life is changing in both the cases, but here it's becoming miserable, there it's becoming blissful. So now it's totally up to us what kind of life to choose, whom to choose, which infection is much better. So anyhow, only it is coming through the devotees of the Lord. By following the process of jnana, liberation is easily attained. So what it is said, jnanato sulabha mukti moksha lagata krit muktir bhukti yagyadi punyatai. What it is said, jnanato sulabha mukti. Mukti is salvation is very easy by the process of the path of Gyan Marg. And then to get all kinds of enjoyments. What it is said, so many kinds of pious activities, they are very helpful. If we want to get so many worldly pleasures, we have to perform some pious activities, righteous activities, that's all. But Shreya Sadhana Sahasreshu, thousands and thousands of all those so all those activities we perform. Shrey sadhan means the activity we perform which is beneficial for us. It can be little harder to follow, but the result is going to be the best. So whereas this practice of different practices which are really beneficial for us, and such practices, they are not one or two. It said even we may choose some 1,000 kinds of practices which are really beneficial for us. Most rare is Krishna Bhakti, devotion in the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. That's not so easily attained. by our own efforts of various uplifting efforts, not just an ordinary effort, a kind of effort. It's not so easy to follow, but still we try very hard to follow, and we try to practice such practices which are prescribed in the scriptures, but still it's not so easy to understand or to get Krishna Bhakti by our own endeavors. That's why we can't understand the words of the scriptures. That's why we can't understand what the life is. So that's why this person, even though he is a great scholar, he could not understand anything because there is no devotion, and also very egoistic, and also very arrogant kind of person, and also considers himself to be a highly intellectual person. When a person has such conceptions about himself in his own mind, how it is possible for him to bend? Not possible. Such persons, they are never interested or inclined to put their head down. Where there is arrogance, there is no spirituality. Where there is arrogance, there is no devotion. The Lord is attained only to those who have humility, those who consider themselves worthless, insignificant, without the service of the Lord. If I don't serve the Lord, then the life is useless. If I don't serve the Lord, my life is useless. It doesn't carry any meaning. When a person understands this, existence of my life is possible only in relation with the Supreme, then only the person will be benefited. If not, it's not possible that our life can ever be benefited. We can ever understand Krishna, we can ever understand devotion, we can ever understand anything. That's what we have to know. A few liberal-minded of Gopal Chakravarti's class or type believe Bhakti as an effective means of mukti. It's an effective means of mukti, nothing more, because such people, they think like that. But for a true bhakta, bhakti is both the means as well as end in itself. Bhakti is the beginning, bhakti is the middle, and also bhakti is the means, and bhakti is the ultimate. We perform bhakti to attain bhakti only. The ultimate thing is to attain bhakti. What is bhakti? That is the loving devotional service in the lotus feet of the Lord. Nothing more. So that's why if for a pure devotee, bhakti itself is a reward. What is the reward? That is bhakti. We don't expect any other reward from the Lord in the name of bhakti. The only reward a devotee try to get from the Lord for performing devotional practice is only bhakti. More bhakti means more seva, nothing more. We can see how Prahlad Maharaj was asking for the more seva. He says, I only want to serve you. I need nothing. I have no other desire that I should ask something from you. Why would I ask something from you? I don't need anything. All these previous devotees, all those devotees in the past, all those devotees coming in the most sacred land, they all have begged the Lord only one thing, that is devotion. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, if you want to make me the bird, beast, whatsoever you want, you just make me. Wherever you want to put me, just put me, no problem. But what I want, I only desire one thing from you, my Lord. It's not that I have no desires, I have one desire. Anyabilashita sunyam, so that means there is one desire. I have no other desires. That means it's a way of saying that I have one desire. If not, it's like I have no desires. But he says, I have no other desires. What does this mean? That if I have no other desires, no other motives, but there is which means I already have one motive. What is that one motive? Anukulyena Krishna anusilanam. I just want to serve Krishna under Srimati Radhika. Under the shelter of Srimati Radhika, I just want to serve Krishna. I have no other desire. If I think that I have some other desire, it's not true, because I have no other desire. I only have one desire, that I want to serve Krishna under the shelter of Srimati Radhika and her beloved associates, the maid servants of Srimati Radhika. Anukulyena Krishna anusilanam. That is the only desire a devotee has. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I am happy to be the bird, beast, whatsoever it is. Then what you desire? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I desire only your devotion, that's all. Tava bhakti, rahu bhakti. Vinod hriday. Hriday means heart. In the heart of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, may your devotion always remain. This is the only desire I have, no other desire. Dhruv Maharaj also says the same thing. I have come here in search of a piece of glass. But what I found here is the jewel, is the gem, most precious gem. And why would I run behind this piece of glass? I have no desire. Like that. Mirabai is also one of the devotees. A true devotee always begs for the loving service of the Lord. What Mirabai is also one amazing devotee of the Lord. She sings one nice kirtan. She composes one kirtan in which she is saying, Sham man chakar rakoji. Hey Sham Sundar, accept me as your servant. Just a kind of servant, lowest servant. What shall you do? What work you will do? She says, Chakar rahasu, bag lagasu, nitut darshan pasu. Every day I will wake up and have your darshan, and then I'll make nice beautiful garden. I'll be your servant, maid servant, and then I shall make nice gardens for you. What we have to pay? He says, nothing. I will just remain like this. Only thing I desire is I just want to see you, that's all. Your darshan. I need nothing more than your darshan. And some other things, nothing. Some extra, some tips and all those things, she says, no need. I will have your darshan and chant Harinam. That is the only thing I need. I need nothing else. Devotees have this kind of tendency, this kind of nature, because they love Krishna. So that's why they demand nothing from Krishna. Only people, those who have ulterior motives, they are the devotees of their own motives and their own desires. Such people, ultimately, they are not going to get this pure loving devotion. The reason is because they have some other motive. Krishna sees them. Oh, You have some other motive. You have come to me with this intention. What can I do now? Okay, because He is the Lord. So there is no such thing which is impossible for Him. If we cry near Him sincerely, He will fulfill our worldly desires also. Begging also, if we can't beg sincerely, if a beggar can't be a sincere beggar, what food he will get? If we have to beg something from the Lord, at least we have to be a sincere beggar. Okay, beg sincerely. Cry near Him and tell Him, please bestow me something, please give me. I need home, I need this, I need that, and this. The Lord says, okay, take it. But what He will not give is loving devotion. And the devotion is given only through His beloved devotee. When the devotee bestows that devotion, then when we surrender to the Lord with devotion, then the Lord bestows His loving devotional service. Unless we see the Lord, unless we attain Him, how we will serve Him? That's not possible to serve Him. Aprakrit vastu nahi prakriti gochar. That the thing is transcendental. So the person who is conditioned here, how he will get the chance to serve the transcendental personality? So we have to transcend. How it is possible? Only by chanting the divine name of the Lord under the shelter of pure devotees, bona fide devotees. Bona fide devotees means what? Jai bhaje sei bado. The one who performs bhajan with unconditional devotional attitude. Such personality, we have to go there. Not the person, those who have huge following, not the one who has less following, or the person with shaved head, or the person with big beard, or the person who has a better way of presentation. No, not all kinds of people. Where to go? We have to go to the person, the one who is fully immersed in the loving devotional service of the Lord. Sri Krishna rasa bhavita mati kriyate va kutopi labhyate yati. Jai bhaje sei bado. That big person is the person whose mind is immersed in Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, all these Madhuris. Such a kind of person. What it is said? Tad Rupa Sindhu Lahari Vinimagna Chitta. One whose heart is fully immersed in Rupa Madhuri. One whose heart is immersed in Guna Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, Venu Madhuri. All these Madhuris. Such a kind of person. Tad Rupa Sindhu Lahari Vinimagna Chitta. It's fully immersed. What to do? Sri Krishna rasa bhavita mati. And now that person's, his mati, if we can get his mati, what to do? Kriyate va kutopi labhyate. By any possible means, if we can ever get it, tatra laulyam api mulyam ekalam, immediately buy. How to buy? How to buy this thing? How to buy someone's mind? He says, through greed. You don't need to earn greed. Greed is already inside. That's why we are suffering. So just give it off. Just give that greed to that personality. Please take it. Means stick to the person, go behind the person. Then you will get Krishna. You will easily get Krishna. You don't need to struggle to get Krishna. Krishna can be easily attained by such devotees. like that. Lord says, a true devotee attracts my heart. What to do? It's like a magnet and the iron. Bhakti is like magnet. Actually, Krishna is magnet, and the jivas are the like pieces of iron which goes attracting towards the magnet. But here Bhakti is magnet, and then Krishna gets attracted to Bhakti. So how he is attracted? He is attracted to the Bhakta in whose heart Bhakti is there. Aham Bhakta Paradhina. The Lord himself says, Aham Bhakta Paradhina. I am not bound to anyone. I am not controlled by anyone. No one can control me. But who can control? Bhakta Paradhina. But a Bhakta, he can control me. Whatever he wants, I'll just do it. If the devotee wants me to do something, it's impossible that I shall avoid it. If a devotee wants me to do something, I'll definitely do it without second thought. And even if the devotee doesn't want me to do, then also I will just do it for the pleasure of my devotee. Because for doing things and being bound by the love of the devotee, I feel happy. Lord says he feels happy. That's why the Lord has become thief. Being called as a thief, he becomes happy. Chora. Vraje prasiddham navanita choram. Why he has to steal butter from different houses? Where he himself has 900,000 cows in his Gaushala. But still he goes to the people's house and then he steals butter. Why would he do this? Just a small one thing. Because of the love of those Vrajavasis. He is so kind. He is so merciful that he doesn't want to make his devotees feel reluctant in his service. So that's why he voluntarily goes forward. Bhakter dravya prabhu kadi kadi khai. It's not that he goes to everyone's house and he steals. No, that's not his nature. But everyone who can't survive without Krishna, he goes to their place and then perform various kinds of pastimes. Among them, even the stealing of butter or stealing of their clothes or whatsoever it is. Everything is part of that love only, that bond between the Lord and his beloved devotees. That is the speciality. Every activity performed by the Lord is it increases the bond between the Lord and his beloved devotees. If someone steals something from us in this world, that gives us so much of pain, misery. But if something related to the Lord, if the Lord comes and steals everything, then it makes the devotee more happy. Because when the Lord steals, he leaves also. What he leaves? Bliss. He leaves himself. He keeps himself there. By stealing things from the devotee, he keeps himself there, and then he takes those things outside. So that's why the place where all these worldly things are there, they are taken out, and then Krishna is residing there. What else a devotee needs? So the devotee says, Kara grihe vasa hridaye madiye. It's like a jail. My heart is like a jail. I shall just keep you inside the jail. And I shall bind you with the rope of devotion. It's an amazing rope. There is no such rope made, there is no such chain made in this world or the infinite galaxies which can bind the Lord. But a rope is definitely made, a very strong bond is definitely made. That is bhakti, that the Lord can't escape. So that's why what it is said, Mad bhakti pas drida bandhana nischalasan. I shall just bind you with the rope of devotion. I will see where you will go, or how much you are capable of escaping from me. Let me see. That's what the Lord, that's what the devotee is challenging the Lord. Kansa is such a powerful personality, he could not challenge the Lord. He could not bind the Lord. But devotee binds the Lord and he says, I challenge you, if you have the capacity to escape from here, you try. How come a devotee boldly says this? Unless he has this firm faith that the Lord is now tied, he is now bound by my love. Like that. That's only possible for the devotees, and for the devotees the Lord does anything, everything. He is happy to carry the shoes of the devotee. He was holding the shoes of Draupadi like this and waiting for her outside the camp of Bhishma Pitama in the battlefield. When Draupadi came in the evening and slowly she went inside the tent of Bhishma Pitama and did pranams to Draupadi. And when Pitama, he saw some lady came to me and immediately he blessed her. The moment he blessed her, and he was surprised to see it was Draupadi, because he has already made the vow. He has already made the vow that I shall kill Pandavas. And his vow was broken that day. And Bhishma Pitama understood this. Bhishma Pitama understood this, and the first thing he asked is, where is Krishna? She said, outside. Immediately he rushed outside to see, and he was surprised to see that Krishna is holding the shoes of Draupadi there. Like that. There are so many such things that the Lord has done only for his beloved devotees. Lord, he very clearly says that I am not going to raise any weapon in the battlefield. That's impossible for me, because both of you are my family and I need both of you, so I am not going to raise any weapon against anyone. No problem. Bhishma Pitama, he says, I will definitely make you raise the weapon. For the Lord, how long it will take to invite Sudarshan and to chop the head of Bhishma Pitama? How long it will take? It's not going to take even a moment. Sudakshin is the devotee of Lord Shiva, and when he desired to attack on Dwarika, what happened? When he desired to attack on Dwarika, the next moment Sudarshan came and then it destroyed Kashi completely in the moment. And here Durvasa Rishi, when he plucked one hair of his and then he made Kritya appear. And then the moment Kritya tried to attack Ambarish Maharaj, Sudarshan immediately came and then killed Kritya and started running behind Durvasa. Sudarshan was chasing Durvasa. Sudarshan was chasing Lord Shiva. And now in the battlefield, Krishna could not call Sudarshan, and Sudarshan could not chase Bhishma Pitama or kill Bhishma Pitama. But no, it was not his purpose to attack him, because Bhishma Pitama is very dearmost devotee of the Lord. He only want to make his words true, because he said, I make a vow that I shall make you raise the weapon. only just to keep the words of Bhishma Pitama. What he did, he just raised the wheel of the chariot and then started running behind Bhishma Pitama, and then he got the name Rathangapani. Rathangapani. Pani means hand. Rathangapani means wheel in his hands. He just raised the wheel like this and then running behind Bhishma Pitama. Arjun comes in the middle and then stops him. Anyhow, Lord is not going to kill Bhishma Pitama. It's not possible. How the Lord will kill, how the Lord pierce his own heart? Because the devotee of the Lord is his heart. But the thing is, Lord is always there to make the words of the devotee come true. When it is possible, when the Lord is bound to the devotee and his love, he is so bound to his love that the Lord has no other option other than following the desire of his beloved devotees. That's the speciality of pure devotion. That is the reason a devotee's reward is only devotion, only bhakti. There is nothing else. More bhakti, more seva, more chance to serve, more chance to chant his holy name. They don't ask for anything worldly. If there is some worldly motive, some worldly desire, then definitely Lord is not going to bestow his darshan. Both the Majumdar brothers and the large gathering present there already knew the gravity of committing offense to great devotees and their terrible after effects on the lives of offenders. So, why it is said? Because these persons, those who don't believe in the meanings of scripture, shastras, and those who don't follow the pure devotees, those who do things according to their understandings, and those who challenge devotees, such people definitely have to face these kind of consequences. They have to face such terrible consequences. No one can stop them. So in that village, Chandpur, which is, and also in that village of Govardhan Majumdar and Hiranya Majumdar, what happens? They know very well what is going to happen and also the effects, and now they have witnessed also, because Gopal Chakravarti, he has this leprosy which is like not dry, it's like fluid coming down all the time. And because he spoke abusive words towards Haridas Thakur, that he shall cut the nose of Haridas Thakur, what happened as a result? That his nose has disappeared because of leprosy. Eventually his fingers of the feet and hands, everything also started melting. So now this is what is witnessed by them. Hence, in order to free themselves from the terrible consequences, they all jointly requested Haridas Thakur to pardon them. This is the best remedy of getting relief from the evil effects of committing offense. The offender must get himself pardoned by the saint whom he has offended. So Vaishnava Aparadha is very dangerous. That's why when we in the glories of the holy name, Narad Goswami emphasizes on this particular point about Namaparad. He says, don't commit Vaishnava Aparadha. Among these 10 primary Namaparad, the first one is Satam Ninda, criticizing of the devotees. By criticizing Vaishnava, if we think we can prove ourselves to be a Vaishnava, then it is a totally foolish act. We are not in this world to criticize any Vaishnava. We are not in the world to discuss about any Vaishnava. Bhakti vino, tomar Vaishnav Vaibhav tomar, amare karun daya, is your devotee. And he is your opulence. You please be merciful to me, O Lord. Bhakti vinod nasambhashe tare, thake sada mauna dhari. I just remain silent. I shall not speak anything about any Vaishnav. So general discussion is totally different subject, but criticism of the devotees is very bad. If Gopal Chakravarti has no knowledge, and if he can humbly approach Haridas Thakur in the assembly and try to understand, there is a possibility that he can understand the meaning, and then he can apply it in his life, and then he can progress in his spiritual path. But what he did, he offended. He has gone against the teachings. He has gone against the injunctions. He has gone against the standards of the devotees, and then he offended by abusive language and all other kinds of things. What happened? The result has become very dangerous. Vaishnava Aparadha is very dangerous. If we offend the Lord by not serving Him properly, then by chanting proper Harinam, we can rectify our offenses. Our offenses will be forgiven. But if we offend a devotee, there is no question, there is no place, no room, no shelter where we can protect ourselves. Vaishnava Aparadha is so dangerous. So Govardhan Majumdar and Hiranya Majumdar, along with all the devotees of that village, gathered together, and they all fell in the feet of Srila Haridas Thakur and requested him that kindly be merciful and then forgive our offenses. And our acharyas, they say, whenever a person commits an offense against any Vaishnava, that person himself have to go and beg forgiveness from that Vaishnava so that he will be saved. Even though at one point, if we are very slow, very lazy in devotional service, still Lord will definitely love us. Lord will love those also, those who don't want to serve the Lord, because that is the greatness of the Lord. But if someone becomes crazy and goes against the scriptures, and also goes against the words of the pure devotees, offends them, offends the scriptures, then definitely Lord is not going to be pleased, He is not going to be satisfied. So we have to be very careful in our sadhana, especially if we want to understand the glories of the holy name. Anyhow, we shall discuss the next chapter tomorrow, that is Srila Haridas Thakur in Shantipur. So when this incident happened in Chandpur and the house of Balram Acharya, Srila Haridas Thakur was so sad that because he was feeling guilty that because of me that this person had to face such consequences. Devotees, they don't feel happy if someone is suffering. They will not say, see, they offended me, so what result came? That's not the nature of a devotee. So Haridas Thakur could not take it. Because of me, it happened to this person. So it's not, he doesn't want to continue to stay there and move to Shantipur. So what happened further, we shall discuss tomorrow. One thing I just definitely want to say and conclude today, that yesterday we have air condition here. So while AC is working, water comes down from the split. Well, we have one bucket to collect that water. So the bucket is full. So yesterday what I did, I just put one piece of paper in the water. In the beginning it was floating, and slowly that water has settled down in the bucket. It's so surprising. Piece of paper. What is the weight of the paper? but it also went down and it's onto the lower part of the bucket. But I remember I have been to Rameshwaram, the place from where the Lord Ramachandra has constructed the bridge to go to Lanka, so that he can take all his army to fight with Ravan. So when I went to Rameshwaram, there is one temple where near it's Ram temple, and there is a huge amount of stones floating in the water. These stones are not less than 17 lakhs of years. They are such old stones. From last 17 lakhs years, they are still floating in the water. Why would I say this? Why I am saying this? It's a very important thing we have to understand. A piece of small paper can't float on the water for 24 hours. Whereas these stones from Rameshwaram, which are used to construct the bridge in the ocean, are floating in the water. Not necessary in the salt water, they are floating in ordinary water also. If you want to make the egg float on the water, then it should be salt water. When in the salt water, if you put the egg, it floats. If I remember correctly, because when I was in the school, I saw this experiment. In ordinary water, it doesn't float. It is a density kind of issue is there, some density or maybe some issue is there. So now this stone, it's not only floating in the sea waters, it's already also floating in all the waters. Any water you put and the big stones, they are floating. How it is possible? The holy name has the capacity to make the matter also float on the water. Those stones, they are just rocks. But when the rocks, what they did, they did not use the cement. They did not use the cement to unite them. They just wrote Ram. The moment they wrote Ram and they just throw it in the sea, they all started coming together and they all became like a thick bridge. They got sticked. Even stones can also come together. They can stick and also they can float. Anything can happen. That is the speciality of the holy name. Whereas the paper can't float. If we are like Hanuman and all those devotees, and if we write Ram and then throw it in the water, then it will also float. But we are just an ordinary beings, no faith, no devotion in the Lord. That's why papers are also not floating. Even dust particles are also not floating. And we talk about big things. They are the devotees, they could write the name, inscribe the name of the Lord on the stone and then just throw it in the water, and they are floating till today. If you have no faith, you can just go there and you can see. If not, if you all come to Radhakund, one piece of stone is in Radhakund Kunjiveri Gaudiya Mat. Those who do parikrama, they can have darshan. It's kept for everyone, open for everyone. The holy name of the Lord is so potent, it can even make the matter float. Why can't we float in this material world? We can also float in this material world very easily. This samsara is every day making us sink. But if we take the shelter of the holy name, chant the holy name, slowly, we will also float in this samsara. And the moment we leave this body, we shall attain the lotus feet of the Lordships, Sri Radha and Krishna, and engage in their loving devotional service. Only Harinam is the Savior, only Harinam is the Savior, and only Harinam is the Savior. We have to be a sincere aspirant of that Harinam. We have to beg, we should have the desire to beg for the food dust of Harinam. Then the life will be completely transformed. We shall discuss remaining tomorrow. Thank you very much. Jai Radhe Shyam.